Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So exciting to be here with you and to be talking about a phenomenal topic, storms. But this one, the perfect storm. And it allows me to think back, those of you who are my New England friends here in Boston, get out of here. Do you remember that perfect storm? They called it the Halloween storm. It was 1991, and the confluence of several major fronts came together, largely unexpected. Overnight, around Halloween, one of the hurricanes that hit at that time is still unnamed, but it goes down as the most unusual storm in the history of our country. And sure, I remember that storm because I was in Boston, and I love Boston. And understand, though, my roots go back to Ireland. So you heard a little bit about I'm a dual citizen. And I know many of you here may be yourself immigrants or the children of immigrants. I am first generation. You heard I'm a pilot. I love flight and weather and these perfect storms. The fascinating thing about aviation is that when you speak to air traffic control, and they give you commands back, you have to repeat them explicitly and correctly. And so the beauty is there's this inherent feedback channel, which I always say, wouldn't it be wonderful if every business, if every project, if every field site you walk on, that there was this code that everything we say, we give one another feedback. And we clarify, is this what I heard you say? Is this what you want me to do? Is this when we need to finish? Are these the products we need? Is this the idea? But we don't do that. We often leave things to our own assumptions and to others' perceptions, and that causes a lot of problems. And so it is just such an honor to be able to give you some insights into ways you can leverage your backgrounds, your skills, your generations, because certainly at work, all these generations showed up, and for about 13 years, I got to really gauge what was going on, what were the concerns of the younger versus the more mature workers, and begin to help address some of those things. The research shows overwhelmingly that relationship building and self-management, check this out. Check this out, almost 75% of the reasons leaders fail. They fail to build effective relationships with others, and they don't know themselves. They show up, and it's all about them. They're unaware they're making declarations when they should be having conversations. It's like the person who says to you, they notice you're starting to fall asleep, and they say, I'm sorry, I've been going on and on and on about me. I haven't given you a chance. What do you think about me? It's epidemic, folks. And so one of the greatest gifts that people can learn as they lead is how to be more emotionally intelligent. And it's not hard, because the beauty is, unlike some of our personality traits, which are pretty hardwired, you can actually move the dial on emotional intelligence by just some simple strategies. And you can hone your compassion meter. They're actually showing now major studies all over the world, but specifically with large companies showing that there's a high correlation with those who are emotionally intelligent and performance. And it shows up everywhere. Of course, I talk about it in aviation, but I also work in OR with hospitals where you have, imagine, a major medical situation comes in, you've got all these incredibly brilliant, skilled workers, and now they have to operate on this person. Just as you at a job site have a major safety issue go off, something critical happens with equipment, with materials, and you as a team have to quickly figure out, how do we do this together? And how do we do it fast? That's a storm that you're trying to navigate. So we want to talk about these millennials, and what I was explaining earlier about relationships is we want to reframe. As you get on a job site, what do I want from you and you and you? I start thinking, how do we get this job done productively, fast? I got to get home, or I want to get this done right. And what I'm saying is, let's think more about each other, and what do I want for you today? What do I want for you with improved talents? What do I want for you for opportunities? And how do I begin to reframe? Because it makes your mouth even speak differently when you start thinking about other people. What do I want for them? So here we have a generation who's just fascinated with Google. They believe the truth is what they Google. Now, obviously, I'm generalizing, but they've been raised on a diet of instant access to lots of information, and guess what? That's a gift. Teddy Roosevelt, in 1910 in Paris, wrote what is today considered one of the greatest tributes to our work ethic in America. And he spoke to the citizens of Paris when he said, "It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better, but the credit actually belongs to the man, to the woman who's in the arena, whose face is marred with dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who stumbles, who strives, who falls again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who actually strives to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends themselves in a worthy cause, who, at the best, in the end, knows the triumph of high achievement, and at the worst, if she fails, at least fails while daring greatly."